Kunos released the update for Assetto Corsa on Friday, so we've had 3 days to trundle through some of the new content, fiddle about with the cars, crash into some trees, and possibly form a somewhat valid opinion about this latest update. To kick things off, looking at the content, the game now includes the Zandvoort Circuit in Holland. Now, those of you that don't know the track, basically, someone decided to copy Teletubby Land, tarmac it all, killing the Teletubbies, thank God for that, and then build a racetrack on it. And well, that Zandvoort is absolutely bananas to drive on. It's as close as you can get to driving a car around a roller coaster in amongst sand dunes, but it's a fantastically enjoyable track to drive regardless of the vehicle that you take out on it. Now, what's particularly interesting with the inclusion of this track is that it was originally produced by a modder that sent it to Kunos. Kunos really liked it, then I believe they acquired the track license and then bought it from the modder to then include it in the game. That might not be correct, so double check that, but that's what I've gathered from my sifting through forums and excuse for research. But what's exciting with that is that potentially people that put the effort into building racetracks, and it's a ridiculous amount of work to build a really high quality track, now potentially can do that and actually get paid for it. So it's possible that we might see more of this in the future with Assetto Corsa. I'd really like to see it, and I think it's really good because it'll really encourage people to actually put the effort into building these high quality tracks. And games like AC, which don't have a giant development studio and potentially don't have the resources to go out and scan every single track out there, could gain a lot of tracks this way. And judging off the quality of the Zandvoort track, there's a side-by-side with the iRacing laser scan version. Is really, really good. The only criticism of the track that I would dare to make is that I think some of the track bumps might not be quite right. They might be a little bit bigger than you'd expect, or just a little bit less defined than you get on laser scan tracks. Now, I'm basing this partly on what someone else has said that's using a servo wheel. They say the laser scan tracks have more punch to the road surface in some regards in terms of how that's communicated through the force feedback. On a Logitech G25 that I'm using, it's really not noticeable, and bar perhaps a couple of camber changes on some of the corners, the track just seems absolutely exquisite. So that is Zandvoort, but what about the changes to the car handling and the physics? Well, I've always been a fan of Assetto Corsa. Even the previous versions, to me, just feel absolutely incredible the way you can move around the cars. Surprisingly, the 1.2 update has really reinvigorated the physics again, and really, in my opinion, absolutely hit it even more out of the park. The ball has gone into orbit and is on its way to Pluto. It's just incredible what they've done. Some people that were critical, and perhaps maybe rightly so, with the previous versions of Assetto Corsa, or just a general complaint I found even with fans of the game, is that the cars in certain situations felt a little bit planted, and you didn't necessarily have to balance your throttle that much with a lot of the cars where you thought maybe you might have had to be a little bit more nimble. With the latest update, the cars feel far more agile, far more willing to move on the throttle, and also on the brake, far more willing to twist around, making it in some regards a little bit harder to drive on the limit. But then saying that, the controllability is still there, so if you know and have a good feel for, you know, moving a vehicle around, catching it and just directing it how you want to, I don't think it's got any harder. It's just got more deeper and more enjoyable as a result. So I'm not sure what they've done. I'm not sure what they've been smoking, but whatever they've been doing, it's worked a treat. Now, this update also brings huge improvements to the artificial intelligence. Personally, I'm not one to really race offline. I like driving against other flesh bags, crashing into them, making them cry. I don't really enjoy the pleasures of crashing into our robotic friends. But for those that do, and I think especially with Kunos now wanting to launch this game on console in the future, having the AI improved is going to be of significant value. And let's face it, a lot of people have something wrong with them that makes them prefer to play single player than multiplayer. So it's important that it's improved in the game. And from the limited testing I have done, it does seem to be a lot more enjoyable to race against than previously. The AI do make good passes on each other now, will move around the track, they don't tend to just barge into you as much. But having said that, I think there are still some problems with the AI, and some improvements that can be made, but it depends on the difficulty you've got it set on, the car and the track you choose. For the most part though, I think the AI is really, you know, it's a massive step up than what it was before, and people that race offline are certainly going to be really appreciative of the changes and get a lot of enjoyment out of the Assetto Corsa now. Of course, with games development being a bit like chiselling out a sculpture, there's also been hundreds if not thousands of small little tweaks to it, improvements in how car electronics works, brake disc glowing, just an endless list of subtle things that build and ultimately make the game as a whole more enjoyable to interact with. In conclusion, for a free update, this is probably one of the best free updates that I've ever seen in recent times. Absolutely fantastic. Negativity though, let's be negative, you can't always be positive, let's put the Hitler hat on. Multiplayer, although the netcode's improved, there's some stuff on the server side in terms of the options, the chat room not being default on, not being able to have going from one track to another. They've improved some of the underlying stuff with the multiplayer, and I think we might get some server tools that might improve on this, but it'll take time for people to develop that separate to Kunos, and then it'll take time for servers to start implementing that. But I just feel that's the one part of the game that I would personally really like to see be developed more above everything else. But this 1.2 update basically, in my opinion, makes the driving a lot better, makes the game far more solid, makes it more enjoyable to race online because the netcode seems a bit stronger, and well, really, it's free, so you can't go wrong. Can't wait for them to do more content, can't wait for more updates, can't wait for more mod tracks. Really, really exciting stuff, and it does make going back to some other driving simulators a bit depressing, because to me, and maybe I've been a fanboy, I'll be a fanboy, I'll put my fanboy hat on here. At the moment, just the dynamics of the vehicles, the force feedback and everything comes together in Assetto Corsa to just propel it above and beyond. I'll take my fanboy hat off when I do other videos, but that's just my personal feeling. Maybe it'll change, maybe someone will murder me for saying that, but that's just what I think at this point in time. So, thanks for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you in future videos. Don't forget to click the subscribe button, like it and all that business, and I'll see you online.